Hi, my name is Devinda, and I'm here today to talk to you about something that's very close to my heart. It's the subject of forced marriage. I want to talk to you about forced marriage because it's one of the biggest human rights violations. It's evil and it's bad and it has to stop. Forced marriage is happening all around the world to many different people, girls and boys, and has happened and continues to happen, and there has to be a stop to it. And the reason why it's close to my heart is because it happened to me when I was 14. My parents showed me a picture of a boy from India and asked me to look at the picture and tell them what I thought of him, and I knew I couldn't tell the truth or say I don't like him or he doesn't mean anything to me, because if I did do that, I would have got slapped in the face. I've been brought up in such a way that I knew what was expected of me. I knew it was happening to other girls. This shouldn't have been happening, but when parents are making you do something, you don't question what your parents are doing because you think that they're doing something that's in your best interest. So I didn't question what my parents were doing. When they showed me that picture, I already knew it was happening to girls in my community, to girls that I went to school with. I knew it was something that was expected, and I kind of accepted it. I know I shouldn't have accepted it, but it's easier said than done. I knew that I couldn't say anything or else I'd get slapped, on the face if I had questioned my mom or said, I don't want to marry him, I'm too young, or no mom, wait a little while or something. She would have said, who do you think you are? What makes you so different? So-and-so's girl is getting married. She said yes and she's engaged, and this girl, that she's getting married, and who do you think you are? So I knew my position and I knew I had to accept it, and I knew I had to say he's okay. But, back then, marriage didn't mean anything to me. I said yes, but I didn't really know what it entailed. I didn't know what it meant, and I knew I was 14 and I didn't think I was gonna, get married there and then, so I wasn't like scared or worried. I was still going to school. So anyway, as the years went by, well, before I get into that, just a little while after seeing his picture, I think it was maybe a few months later, he actually came to England to attend the wedding of one of his family members in Birmingham. And so while he was in England, he got a visa, obviously, because it was a family member's wedding. And so while he was in England, he, of course, came to the city where I lived. And we were put in the same room, and before I went in that room I was told I was going to meet with him and have my picture taken, and I was told how to behave, that I would sit next to him and I would smile for the camera, but I wasn't to look at him and I wasn't to talk to him. So I did as I was told, and I remember that he sat next to me, and at some point he put his arm around my shoulder and we had to smile for the camera. And that was, probably our official engagement pictures. Again, I was too young and I didn't know that this is like what was happening to me. I just went through like the motions of what my family told me to do. I didn't know, probably I didn't go around thinking, oh, I'm engaged or something. I, was just a child, went around, my life and wasn't really concerned about it. But yeah, that was my official engagement. And like I said, I didn't talk to him. He left the room. I stayed in the room. Everybody was celebrating. And then from that point on, he, called from time to time when he went back to India. And I was told to come to the phone and talk to him. And I didn't want to talk to him. But my mom said I had to. And from time to time, she told me to write letters to him. And I didn't want to. I had like nothing in common with him. I didn't know what to write in the letters. But I was told I must write to him. He's eager to get letters from me, and he's excited to hear from me. And again, talking to him on the phone, that was actually the worst than writing letters. I didn't want to talk to him at all. I didn't know what to say, but I was told I must, because He, maybe a year or two had gone by from that time when I was 14, and I was told by my mum that he's been waiting for you already and he's excited to talk to you and you must talk to him. So I couldn't, refuse. And I remember that I didn't like those occasions, but there was nothing I could do. So anyway, as the years went by, as I got closer to the age of 18, I knew I was going to get married at 18. When I was 17, I knew I didn't want to go along with this marriage, but I couldn't tell my mom because I knew if I told her that there's no way she would accept it, because she'd already been telling me anyway, even with the phone calls, that he's been waiting for me. So there's no way that I could tell her I didn't want to get married. So as it approached my 18th birthday, I knew I wasn't going to go along with this, and there's no way that anybody was going to help me. So I formulated a plan that I was going to run away and I was not going to get married to him. And so I booked my ticket to go to London, and I didn't know anybody in London, didn't know where I was going to stay. I packed my bags, and it was a very scary day for me the day when I left home. And I was scared that somebody was going to catch me, find me, running away. But I managed to get on that bus. Well, first of all, I took a taxi to the bus station, and then I got on the bus to London. And I was very, very scared. I was scared even when I was in the bus that somebody was following me. And then when I arrived in London, I didn't know where I was going to stay. And I ended up staying in London for a few weeks till I called home. But instead of going into the whole story right now about my running away and my wedding, just to cut the story short, basically what happened was I did return home because I made contact with my family, and my mom told me that my grandma was really ill, and I loved my grandma, and that really hurt me and scared me that she was ill because of my running away. So in the end I ended up going back home. And when I think about it now, I get really mad with myself that, if I had the strength and the courage to do something like running away, back in those days, not many girls did. They just went ahead with it, didn't question it. They went ahead with the weddings and just tried to make them work. But I did something different. I ran away, and I say to myself, why wasn't I strong enough? Why didn't I just stay away, not call home, or not let them get to me? Why did I go back? But I went back because I was drawn back, with thinking that my grandma was ill. And before I knew it, I was drawn into the whole thing that I had to get married. I told him I didn't want to get married, and I was told I had to. He's waiting for me, and I would bring shame upon the family, and all his family in Birmingham really like me, and his mum has met me when I was 14. We actually went to India, and again, I didn't even realize when I was in India that when I met his family, we went to his village in the Punjab. I didn't realize that was also an engagement that I went to when his whole family was present. None of this actually struck me till years later, when I'm thinking back that I was probably sent to India or taken to India on school holidays from England just for the very purpose of his family meeting me and seeing me, and that was my other official engagement. So just long story short, I ended up getting married to him, and I didn't want to get married to him, of course, and I knew I wasn't going to stay with him, so why did I even go through with it? Sometimes, we are forced into things, and we know that maybe it's just easier to go ahead with it and get away from it, but it doesn't make any sense. But still, none of this makes sense. So basically, what I want to tell you is forced marriage is evil, it's disgusting, and it really has to stop. It's a human rights violation, the biggest human rights violation, along with child marriage, and it shouldn't be happening. Why should girls be forced to marry strangers, or even boys for that matter? Why should they marry strangers too? Our parents shouldn't be doing this to us. The very people that we trust to protect us are doing this to us, and it shouldn't be allowed. And also what's made me really angry is that our teachers in England didn't do anything to help us. They knew it was happening to girls every single day, that girls were being forced to marry somebody else. Back then it was called arranged weddings, but did anybody in the community like think, well, this shouldn't be happening to these girls, they don't know these people? They all just thought they needed to keep their noses out of it, that this is, you know, their culture and this is their tradition and it's none of our business. But culture is no excuse for abuse, and our communities and our country allowed it, and you know, it's wrong. And I'm so glad now that forced marriage is illegal in the UK. It should have been illegal when I was growing up. It shouldn't have happened to me, but still I'm glad now that it's illegal because other girls can be helped. And also, just to let you know that if it was illegal at the time when I was growing up, I wouldn't have, you know, picked up a phone and called the authorities on my parents, because I love my family. It's not something that is easy for any girl to do. We don't want to put our parents, you know, in jail. But the reason why I'm happy that forced marriage is illegal now is that, you know, no girl wants to pick up the phone. But the thing is that parents are going to think twice. I know forced marriage is still going on, but it's just a matter of time. Parents are going to think twice soon about doing this to their children, because who wants to be locked up? It's just like shoplifting. People know that they can't do it, because if they do it, they're going to get caught and they're going to be put in jail. So it's the same with forced marriage. Soon people are going to realize it's criminal, we shouldn't do this, it's illegal, it's wrong. It's just a matter of time before they realize it's wrong, and then it's going to stop. And so again, I'm so happy it's illegal in the UK, and I want to implore everybody and encourage everybody that if there's anything you can do, that you need to sign petitions, just like I did. I was living here in the USA, and then when this was going in front of the Prime Minister in the UK, as a concerned citizen, because I'm still a British citizen too, I signed petitions right from here in the USA, trying to help people in my country. It's, you know, my responsibility to, you know, make sure that nobody else has this happen to them, what happened to me and what's happened to thousands of girls. And so everybody needs to be concerned about this. So it's great that it's illegal in the UK, but there's so many countries it still needs to be illegal in, and that includes the USA. And just to let you know, it must be happening here in the USA. I know it's happening here. If it's happening in the UK and it's happening in Denmark, it's happening in India, and it's happening in, you know, all over Africa, of course it's happening in the USA. Why would people be immune here? Why would the USA be immune? So it has to be made illegal here. It has to be made illegal everywhere. So please, people, if you ever come across any petitions, sign those petitions, because we all have to put a stop to this together. Change has to happen, and everybody's signature can make a difference. We all need to stop this horrible crime. Thank you so much for watching my video.